it will be another 1 kilometer until home. We have driven close to 100 kilometers and used 21.5, say 22 kilowatt hours. It's not too bad actually. On such a trip I usually use 110, 111, 112 watt hours per kilometer, but now it's almost twice as much. And this is not because it's inefficient to drive with a trailer, but well, it is, but the car is too efficient. Yeah, the trailer uses the same amount of energy being pulled behind a petrol or diesel car or electric vehicle, doesn't matter. Use the same amount of energy. But because the EV is so efficient, it makes such a huge difference of 50% more. Crazy! Alright, we are home. The doggy! Hey doggy! That's crazy, right? 22 kilowatt hours to pick up 3 aluminium sheets. Yeah, this with the box here worked actually pretty well. It pushes on top of the aluminium sheets and they didn't slip at all. They're still in the corner here. Nice. I've reused the Yixiang box with all the cardboard. It is already late afternoon. But the good thing is, end of winter, we are already getting the afternoon sun on our pull fence system again. So that's pretty nice. And look at the house roof. Everything in full sun in the afternoon. Guys, welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage here in sunny and hot Australia. We had like 127 amps today outside. So we are charged to 42% already. And yesterday we picked up the aluminium sheets from the aluminium warehouse in Ipswich. Here they are with a protection film. And today I want to mount these aluminium sheets on this beautiful wall. I have done all the measurement already. I have set up the laser as well, because this laser, I'll show you. So this green line gives me the exact position of the metal stud inside the wall. And this is where these two aluminium sheets are meeting. And all fits perfectly on this side and on this side here as well. What potentially can go wrong? So, and I was wondering how I mount these aluminium sheets onto these metal studs inside the wall. And I've tried different screws here, different techniques basically. This one here is an M4 tapped into the aluminium frame. And this works very, very well. And this one is just a plasterboard screw. And I put both of these screws into the vise and pulled on this metal here. And I was not able to pull them out. Because I was a bit concerned how to mount this aluminium at the plasterboard wall. Because this metal is so thin here. But I think this is all good. And once we have a gazillion screws in these aluminium sheets, they will be one with the wall. And we can hang a ton of equipment on this wall then, which we don't do. All this stuff here is not heavy. Well, but the cables could be. So just want to check out how much space we have. Plenty of space on each of the panels to hit the stud with a screw. Because we have set all these metal studs with the laser as well, they should be 100% straight. And we are only going up to here anyway. This is my maximum height of the aluminium sheets here. Because I need to leave some space for the roller door, just in case we have to open this one. This one will get a bit thicker here, right? So we go like over here. This is about 2 meters high now. And I will of course use these plasterboard screws here because this is the easiest way, right? So I just need to drill a 3.5 millimeter hole and sink this a little bit in. So the head of the screw sits nice and flush with the aluminium sheet. And then it bites into the metal stud inside the wall and holds the aluminium. I hope it holds. Let's see how this works. Maybe I should use 4 millimeters. 3.5 is just not enough. Nice. So I've now leveled this aluminium and prepared the second hole. Because this green line here is our last stud. So there's nothing afterwards because, well, if you remember, the outside of the wall actually bends a little bit because I was genius and have stuck the plasterboard inside this aluminium profile of the roller doors, left and right. And the wall with these studs is actually wider than the gap in this aluminium profile. So the outside wall is a bit bended. Yeah, see, this is where the last stud is, and there's nothing until here. It's probably 15 millimeters or so, but the bend is actually on the outside and inside is perfectly straight. But obviously no further stud available to mount this aluminium. So I thought of using these hollow wall anchors. Yeah, this is basically the anchor which goes into the wall, and then you put this screw in and tighten it, and it pulls this part towards this one, and these are the spreaders. They spread basically out inside the wall and give you a nice big surface to cope with the load outside. And it says here somewhere up to 10 kilos this one can hold, but this is the pull force obviously, and we don't have a big pull force here. It is more a downward force. Yeah, I probably start with these two holes here first into the studs and see how everything works, and then later on we can drill another 1, 2 or 3 holes here and use these hollow wall anchors. This is probably more so for my OCD and that I sleep better. It won't actually hold anything, not very much, because we are not mounting anything in this corner anyway, so I'll probably just leave it as it is then. I don't know yet. But yeah, I've got these ones here, and I also have these spring toggle plasterboard. And I prepared these 2 pieces of timber, put a little notch on the top here. So, and these ones will hold my aluminium sheet, so I can put the screws in, and then with the 2 screws it should actually stay here at the wall. So if this works, I've got this on video. If not, I will delete this footage and nobody will ever know. I'm glad I got this on video. Could be a bit this way. Yeah, it could be a bit this way. Let's see what the level says. Level says the same. Okay, that means the floor is not straight, which we already know. I'll lift this up here just a tiny bit on this side. Okay, that's perfect here. I think that's pretty spot on. Okay, so this should be fairly straight and it's lining up with our stud. So this sheet needs to come all the way up, sit against it. They both have the screws in the same stud here in this location. And family, it is in. Okay, this one here, let's give it a try. Alright, let's check the laser again. Make sure this is on the spot, on the line, which it is. Alright, last check. Yep, level. Alright, go. Oh, this screw is in, this screw is in, and technically we don't need these ones anymore. Beauty! It holds on 2 screws. Nice. Beautiful. 4 screws in. So second panel, first screw. Is in. But hey, wait. So 1 screw is in, but what is holding it on the other side? gone. It was a super scary situation last night, right? We don't want to have this guy in here, do we? Thankfully the aluminium panels are still up on the wall. So in the next step we need to figure out the height of all this equipment going onto these two panels. Because we have stacks of 4 Google Power batteries, for example, and we also have a stack of 5 Yixiang boxes here. They only recommend to stack 4 of these boxes on top of each other with the wheelbase I have here. But if the wheelbase sits on extra metal supports, we can easily stack 5 or even more boxes on top of each other. The boxes itself can handle a lot of weight. But I probably don't want to have a battery high like this anymore, so it needs to be somehow accessible, and I don't want to use the crane all the time. So on the other hand, once this is all installed, you don't have to touch these batteries anymore for years. 10 years, hopefully. What I definitely don't want is having the breakers behind a tower of batteries. Yeah, the breakers should be accessible all the time. I don't really care about the battery connectors. They can be behind the stack, but not the breakers. So let's say, including the wheelbase, we've got a realistic height of 1.2 meters for 4 of these boxes. And I think the Google Power boxes are a bit lower. Yeah, they are not even 110. So if we go with 120, how high is one box here? 260. Zeppler's 250. Eel 260. Jackie batteries 250. Yeah, and then whatever wheelbase we have on top. So 120, 4 of these boxes. Okay, I've got a rough idea what to do here with the circuit breakers and the cable duct and the Victron bus bars on top. There won't be much left at the top here, but it doesn't really matter. Because I cannot go higher with these panels here anyway, because of the roller door. Alright, I've got all the mounting screws in to hold the panels against the wall. I've got 2 f-ups. I actually hit a screw, a plasterboard screw here with this one, so I had to go a bit lower. And this one has there's nothing behind it. There's no metal for some reason. I'll probably just leave it as it is because it will be covered anyway at some stage. I was actually surprised that I didn't hit more of these 1 million plasterboard screws we put into this wall. But now, so far, only 1. Apart from that, it's all one with the whole garage structure now. Nice. So we will see. I will think about it for another night, 1 more sleep, which height everything needs to be. And then in the next video we mount all the equipment on the wall. Smart shunt, main circuit breaker, which I don't have at the moment. And I probably also use these plasterboard anchors for this situation here, otherwise it's a bit flappy. Yeah, breaker over here. I think that's a good height. 1.5 meters high. That's good. Gives us enough room down here for battery stacks. Okay, my friends, I think so far this video for today, mounting these aluminium panels here on the wall, it's a big step forward again, because now we can start installing the equipment, which is actually for connecting all these batteries. So I'm really looking forward to that. Well, once I made the final decision, and I'm not good with that, because I try to think about all the eventual installations and situations with the batteries. So it's very hard for me to make the final call and say, okay, this is the exact height this circuit breaker needs to be. And I also need to make the decision where this circuit breaker will be, right? Will it be in the corner? Will it be in the middle or somewhere in between? You don't know yet. One step after another. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your amazing support here. We've got so many new channel members now. Thank you so much for your generous and recurring donation to the channel. Also, thanks for leaving nice comments, liking the videos, sharing them everywhere. This is all great support and makes these videos possible here. Thank you very, very much for that. Alright, my friends, until the next video. There's also a big box coming in one of the next videos. And I want to do a review on this as soon as possible. And so this will be in between all this installation mounting stuff here. Well, I definitely keep the content interesting. Alright guys, until the next video, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye. Looks like in a school here, right? With a board. Hey, if this doesn't work, you will never see that. Oh. It's spinning, it's spinning. It is spinning. Okay, you will not see that. How long? Ah, here we go. Here we go. Bombenfest.